But no, it is really, really cute. I know I'm explaining it in a kind of like dark way, but it is really cute.
You're not having to explain it in a dark way. You're just explaining the plot, and the plot is dark.
It's really not that dark. I would have took the money. Oh, wait. Sorry, not the money. I would have took the marriage.
Welcome back to Late Night Jutsu's Podcast Hour. It's a series for couples to discuss all things anime and manga related. I'm your host, Tyler.
And I'm Kaylin.
Before we dive into episode 3, which we will be discussing food-related animes. I know you're excited about that.
Yes.
You've been doing a lot of research the past 2 weeks.
I've been dying for the past week and a half.
Yeah. Usually we try to upload an episode every week, but we got a little gap because someone decided to get the flu plus bronchitis. Probably COVID.
No. The little stomach bug that you gave me with your nausea.
Yeah, I think that was because we didn't properly clean the espresso machine. But yeah. So that's a mutual sickness that we gave to each other.
Anyways.
Before we dive into all that, we need to give a shout out to Zach Addison, 93, who commented on our last video saying, "Good stuff. My only complaint is that I found y'all too early and can't binge a bunch of episodes. Not a single mention of the Odyssey of our time, One Piece." There's a reason for that. First off, thank you for the genuine comment. It's much appreciated.
It's real nice.
Neither of us watch One Piece or are a big fan of One Piece.
Hey, don't bring me into this. That's your genre. That ain't my genre.
But do you watch it or
that ain't my genre
or read it?
What is it? Is it shonen?
Yeah.
See, I don't do that.
I've never been into One Piece, and that's not because it's bad. I don't watch it or like it because it's bad. I never grew up watching it like Dragon Ball Z or or Naruto or anything else. So I have no nostalgia with it whatsoever. I have no affiliation with it. Recently, in the past couple of years, I've tried to get into One Piece, and it hasn't stuck with me at all.
Yeah. I
read the first 120 or so chapters of the manga, watched probably 30 episodes of the anime, and nothing never clicked.
Yeah.
I just never got into it. I think it has to do mainly with how it's animated, the illustration, the art style of One Piece. I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Okay.
And the same thing with Gurren Lagann. It's a super popular anime, and I never really been into it. I watched it just because it's shorter than One Piece, but I was never like a huge fan because the art style just doesn't resonate with me like other ones do.
Yeah. Does Colin know that you're not a big One Piece fan?
Yeah, her brother is a giant One Piece.
Though I'm not a fan, and though I haven't really seen it, I do have a favorite character. Isn't his name Zoro?
The green hair with a bunch of swords? I believe so.
Daddy.
Right. And so if you are a One Piece fan, you probably won't get a whole lot of One Piece content on this channel just because I know nothing about it. But I am going to be giving it another shot again.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've tried to get back into it, so I will give it another shot. But right now,
I feel like it would be good for you. Because there's a lot that has a lot of movies and a lot of episodes. It's definitely a commitment, but I think it would be worth it because nowadays a lot of animes are just one shots, or they might have 2 seasons, but that one is it's got a proper story.
Well, I know Oda, the creator.
Yeah.
As far as the anime goes, that's been running for 25 to almost 30 years now, but he had been working on the story. I think I read an article a long time ago about it, where he had been working on these characters since he was in elementary school.
How cool.
So he's been building this world his entire life.
That is so cool.
So there's so much to dive into.
Yeah.
And that might be one of the reasons why I don't really want to get into it, just because it would take years to catch up. I don't know, but I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah, that's kind of like me. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. That's like me and Naruto. Like when we first started dating, that was one of like your really big animes that you know, had been into for a while. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, obviously I need to like it and watch it because we need to have like that in common. And then I found out I had like 600 and some episodes and I said, psych, I just can't.
And that was when
too much.
Shippuden was still running.
I know.
It was before Boruto.
I know.
So
and
we
then
tried to catch up to it, and we spent 2 years watching it.
Yeah.
That's with skipping a good amount of the fillers, and it still took us about 2 years to catch up to it. And I think right when we caught up to it, the Shippuden was over, so it was great timing. But
it was, and I did enjoy like Boruto because we had to watch Naruto to like understand Boruto because it's like they were kids and now they're parents.
Yeah. Since you've been sick the past...
Near death? Yeah.
Yes. Since you've been near death the past 2 weeks, I know you've had a chance to catch up on a bunch of your favorite foodie animes. Does that word not resonate with you? Foodie?
Well, no, the word catch up doesn't resonate with me because I did not get to enjoy anime or manga while I was sick. Thank you. I just recently recovered and I just started watching anime 2 days ago. But yes, in those 2 days, yes, I did.
You binged a lot.
I did. I had to make up.
What's your favorite so far that you've been catching back up on?
Let's see. I really enjoyed Kakuriyo. I think it's a bed and breakfast for spirits or something like that. And then also Cinderella Chef, which is actually a Chinese animation. So that's cool. They're both food related, obviously. And do you want to like go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah. What's your favorite? If you had to pick your favorite food one, which one would it be? Which one embodies?
That's hard.
You know, because we grew up watching.
I know.
Iron Chef, Man vs. Food.
Yeah.
A bunch of real world food related shows.
That's really hard. I would have to say like they're both kind of tied for me because the stories are very different, and the way that they approach food is very different. Like with Kakuriyo, like that one, it's very light and it's cute and they have their serious moments or whatever, but it's nothing compared to Cinderella Chef. I think that one is more serious, and the way that they approach food is more serious. So yeah, they're kind of tied for me. I like them both, I think, equally. But I will say that with Kakuriyo, I was able to get into that one pretty quickly. I started that, it's been a few years now. But as soon as I started watching it, I really enjoyed it because I think it was the story and it was the food that I enjoyed. Also the animation, obviously, and because it's romance too.
This is the bed and breakfast one?
Yes, for spirits. So she can see spirits, right? And that's not really normal in a regular, on a regular basis. And so, she's it's kind of sad at the beginning, unfortunately. Like her mom ends up leaving her and she's like a kid. She's like a little kid. Like she can't fend for herself. So she's her mom leaves her in their house to starve to death, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyways, but her grandfather ends up adopting her, I guess, essentially, and becoming her guardian. And he teaches her how to cook because he understands that she can see spirits, because he can see spirits. And so with seeing spirits, obviously, like, Ayakashi have a bad rep, like they eat humans, blah, 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 whatever. So he teaches her to cook because if she can cook and feed the Ayakashi, like they won't eat her. Right. And so like they're together for like 10 years. So I think she's 9 and then so 10 years go by. So now she's 19 and her grandfather ends up passing away, unfortunately. And so this Ayakashi appears randomly and she ends up giving him her food and because she doesn't want to get eaten. So she's like, here, eat this, whatever. And then she goes about her day. Well, he ends up like I guess to say thank you for giving, her food to him. He ends up like leaving a trinket for her and giving her bento box back. And so she takes the trinket, she takes the box. And then when she grabs the box, it consumes her and takes her into this, different realm. Right. And so she's there. And then this Ayakashi that she fed was like, you got to marry me because your grandfather owes me a lot of fucking money. And she's like, what?
Whoa.
Okay, not like that.
This took a huge turn.
Yeah, it's not like that. I'm just like, pretty much. And she's like, whoa. No, I'm not doing that. Like, how much does he owe you? I'll pay it off. I'll work. And so it's quite a bit of money. Grandpa went a little ham in this,
What? How does he owe the spirit money?
So because it's a bed and breakfast, right? So you like order food, order drinks, all sorts of things. So he did all of these things and didn't have the money to pay them back.
They loaned him, the spirits loaned him the money.
Essentially, like it's on a tab, essentially, right?
So it's the spirit mob. And they
no, it's not that.
Ankles.
No, they just had an agreement. The grandfather was here. I'll sign this like paperwork saying that I'll give you my granddaughter as collateral, if I can't pay my stuff back. Cut that out. And then the like owner of the bed and breakfast was like, okay. And so they have a signed agreement. And so he came to collect. And if it were me, yes, sign me up. When do we say I do? The fact that she tried to fight that, I was like, girl, he is the owner. He's the strongest Ayakashi and he's fine. But you over here like, I'm going to cook. I'm going to work. Crazy.
That doesn't sound like a very good grandpa. If my grandfather used me as collateral for a bunch of money to open a restaurant,
Pop would do it.
I would be kind of pissed.
Oh, she was. She was at first.
I would be kind of pissed.
She was at first. Anyways, so she's like, no, I'm just gonna work, whatever. And so he's like, fine. If you don't want to marry me and you want to work, you're gonna have to figure out that on your own. You're on your own. Like, you're gonna have to pay off this debt on your own. I can't help you. Nobody's gonna help you. Good luck. So she ends up receiving help, obviously.
I thought this was supposed to be a wholesome story.
It is. It's so good. I'm obviously explaining
leaning more towards the Sopranos than a wholesome story.
Okay, well, the beginning's a little rough. Not that rough. It's cute. Anyways, so she ends up getting help from Genji, and he has a little fox Ayakashi's so cute, and ends up like leading her into this little shack building kind of thing, whatever, outside of the bed and breakfast. And he's like, why don't you open up a restaurant? And because she like makes him something, and she's just like, light bulb. So she ends up deciding to open up a restaurant, and that's how she's going to pay off her debt, or her grandfather's debt. And so basically it's just about her like helping different Ayakashi with her food, because she has this power and she can basically revive their energy through her food, because she's spiritual energy. That's what it's called. Thank you. And so there's just
like bleach. Yep. Spiritual energy. Yeah. That's what it's called.
That's for you, Colin. That one mention of bleach right there.
Yeah. He commented on our first video about
our thoughts on bleach.
And there you go.
Yeah. But no, it is really, really cute. I know I'm explaining it in a kind of like dark way, but it is really cute.
You're not having to explain it in a dark way. You're just explaining the plot, and the plot is dark.
It's really not that dark. I would have took the money. Oh, wait. Sorry, not the money. I would have took the marriage. I would have took the marriage. I never understood that. I'm like, why? Why you gotta work, girl? You like, he fine. Just like, it's cool. I do.
She's also 19. Maybe she doesn't want to get married yet. A single, independent, strong woman. That's your whole thing.
She clearly wants to be an independent, strong woman. She's over here trying to open up a restaurant and cook for people. Like, That's crazy. Anyways, not important. Go ahead.
How many seasons exist of this show?
Technically, it's only one, but I believe there are 24 episodes. So if we think about it nowadays, where seasons typically only have about 12 episodes, technically, I would say that there's like 2 seasons, but there's only one.
Yeah, with the 12 versus 24 nowadays that we're getting. I got you.
Yeah.
Is there a manga, or did you see if there's a manga? Or
You know
read the manga?
You know what? I didn't. And, I probably should do that, but there are just some animes that I just really, really enjoyed the show. I didn't have an inkling to find a manga, like to continue the story in that way. I want to continue the story through the show. So no, I didn't.
I almost felt that way about Dan when I first watched it on Netflix, but I just it's there. I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
Ended up binging all 100. When I was reading it, it was 148 chapters. So
holy shit, that's crazy.
But that was one of the ones where I didn't feel like I needed to go read the manga, even though I wanted to, just because the anime was so good. I was like, I kind of just want to keep that in my head now and just watch it as it comes out. But then I realized it's probably be 2 years for it gets another season. So I just went and read it.
I can't even remember because it's been so long since I found Kakuriyo. I don't know when it came out, so I've just been waiting this whole time. But I don't even know, like, I think with the way that it ended, I think there could be a second season. Like I could see it like leading into a second season, but I don't know that there were plans for one, or that there are plans for one. God, I hope so.
Because the two I wanted to talk about was Toriko and Food Wars. And one of the things about both of those shows is they highlight either the ingredient or the meal very well. Does it do that in the bed and breakfast for spirits?
Like compared to those, Toriko?
Just Food Wars at the end, they present the dish and it's all shiny and glowing and, all the ingredients look pretty and, the people eating it are just
I would say
melting basically.
Not in that way. Cinderella Chef, yes, which we'll talk about. But with Kakuriyo, like it does show her cooking and what she's cooking, and like it also shows her going and getting the ingredients for what she's going to make, and there's a lot of care in it because she loves to cook, but it doesn't necessarily like highlight the food as much. Like it's not glowing and it's not like beautifully colored and things like that. It's food. And you just see the people or the ayakashi just enjoying it, which I don't know. There's something wholesome about that for me. Like it's very like, I don't know. It's not flashy, which I enjoy. It's
not over dramatized like it is in Food Wars.
Yes. Now, Cinderella Chef, however, boy, do they do that. It is flashy. That food is shining. It's glistening. It makes you want to eat it. Because when I was sick and I couldn't eat anything, because I A, didn't have an appetite, or B, couldn't keep it down, whenever I was able to start watching anime again, that was one of the ones that I wanted to watch. And that hasn't, like, I've never wanted to eat Chinese food so much in my life, because they just made that shit look so good. Like things that I have never even heard of. And I'm like, that looks amazing. Like I want to eat that. It made me want to go to China and eat it. I just, and it's like, it's so cool that an animation can make you feel that strongly about something. And I don't think I've felt that way watching something in a long time. Like, cause it's based in a more historical time period in China. At least I think it's China. I'm pretty sure it is. The Great Wall's in it. Anyways, not important. But it's like, it's a more historical piece, which I love. I love timepieces or period pieces like that. And so whenever she's like cooking the food, it's just like, it's so cool. It's almost as if she's doing like martial arts, right? With food. And like back then women didn't really like cook a lot, I think, like in a professional setting, but she's a professional chef and she gets reincarnated into this like historical time in China. And it's just so cool to watch her make all of these different dishes. Yeah, man, I was like, I told you, when I can eat again, I want to eat Chinese food, like proper Chinese food.
Which we did, but it's kind of
it was mid.
Yeah.
Jinx.
My two notes on it. Mm-hmm. So I have a question, and then I have my own two notes because I walked by while you were watching it because I didn't want to get in the contaminated air too much vicinity. Is the animation actually looked really good?
It did, yeah.
Very the intro made me want to sit down and watch it.
Yeah,
because I love that animation style. It looks so good. Mm-hmm. And then two, the voice acting being Chinese versus Japanese,
like Mandarin. Yeah,
just it pulled back all the memories of watching Jet Li's Fearless or the old Kung Fu movies growing up. Yeah. It wasn't over exaggerated, right. You know.
Yeah.
But it was, you get that feeling whenever one of them gets excited. You're just like, I remember that from my childhood.
Yeah.
That alone made me want to sit down and watch it. But the couple of scenes where I did watch as they presented the food, it was that shrimp dish. It looked so good.
It did. Yeah. It did. It looks so good. And it like somewhat looks realistic, you know, which I think is really cool because sometimes with food animes, unfortunately, they don't look so realistic. They look very like cute and colorful, and which is great, but I don't know, it was something about the realism that I liked about, obviously it's animated, but they did a damn good job.
It's about as close as 2D food to looking at as realistic as possible, in my opinion. It looked really good. And it wasn't it was a watered down version of Food Wars, the way they reacted to food. It wasn't, their clothes weren't exploding off or nothing, but they were enjoying the food.
Yes.
Over enthusiastically.
Yeah, I would say it's still like somewhat theatrical when, you know, they're eating the food, and how they present their enjoyment for the food is somewhat theatrical still, but it's nowhere near.
Much more mild mannered.
Yeah, nowhere near the level of Food Wars. I don't think anything can compare to Food Wars.
Yeah, in Food Wars, they had their own term for it. What was it? Was it called pulsing? From
no. Well, yeah, but that's that.
Her father,
that's his gift.
The family's lineage's gift was the pulsing. If they enjoyed food, it would send out a wave that would declothe everybody.
Really, I thought that was just him. Like I thought that was just his gift.
It was. All the men that marry into the family inherit that gift.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's kind of my point, was that Food Wars is so over dramatic with it that they have a whole power system built around declothing people from the taste of food being so overwhelmingly good that it literally derobes people within 100-foot radius.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other Chinese animes that I've ever seen. I know there's one other one, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But that made me want to get in, like check out other ones just from watching that one just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I hadn't realized, like I thought Cinderella Chef was like new to me, but it turns out that I actually tried to watch it. I want to say a few years ago. I think it came out in 2018. And I tried to watch it because, again, I love food and I love romance, and that is what that is. And so I was like, oh, perfect. But I don't know. I just couldn't. I think it was, and I hate to say it, but I think I couldn't get into the Mandarin. Like something.
The voice acting.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily the voice acting, just the language itself. That it was just hard because I had been watching Japanese animes for so long, and I got used to hearing that language, and just, I don't know, the way that they speak, you know, I don't know, something about it. And the Mandarin sounded kind of hard to me, and I was like, it doesn't sound as smooth. Anyways, so fast forward to a few years, and I realized, because I got into like the second episode and I was like, I've seen this before. And it was better. It was fine. Yeah. I was like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. There are 3 seasons, and unfortunately the first 2 seasons are not on Crunchyroll. Fix that. So I had to use YouTube, thank God. And I watched the first 2 seasons in like 2 days. It was so good. And it's mainly because of the food, the way, like I was just genuinely excited to see what else she was going to make.
I guess the one question I had about that show, there wasn't any spirits or demons in it.
No,
right?
no,
It was
no.
all just people.
Yes. Yeah. I think the only spiritual thing about that one, and another reason why I wanted to start watching it is because I also really like when people get like reincarnated, and that's exactly what happened to her. So Jiao, I think is her name. So she's a modern day chef, and she has like a lot of love for traditional like foods, and she ends up accidentally poisoning herself, and so she gets dead, and she reincarnates, and that's how she goes back into this like historical time in China. And she like gets married off slightly, and yeah, it's like a whole thing. But it's so good.
Do you remember when it actually came out?
2018.
2018? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that might have been before the surge of reincarnated anime stories.
No, definitely. Oh my gosh.
Huge.
Yes.
You know, I got reincarnated as a slime. Shoku Tensei.
Yeah, that I don't think it had like popped off quite. Yeah.
You know, and then I swear every week I got on Crunchyroll as I got reincarnated into this universe. Now I'm level 1000 wizard. That's an actual title, by the way.
That is.
Yeah. So if they were doing that before the surge of the reincarnation stories comes along, good on them.
Yeah.
Because they got their foot in the door first, I guess. But I a lot also with a lot of those newer animes, you know, they could have just been picked up that were older mangas, turned into animes because people were getting into the reincarnated stories.
But I do know that Cinderella Chef, I think, has a live action. So that's kind of cool. I haven't watched that because you know how I feel about live action stuff. Go ahead.
To be fair, I think with that one, they could pull that off very easily because that's just cooking. Right?
Yeah.
There's no power systems.
No.
It's not the same as Death Note or Avatar, One Piece, just any of the other live action, the Dragon Ball Z Evolution. Oh,
you know how I feel about 2D, Charles.
No, I know, but I'm just saying if they're gonna do a live action, which they've been pushing for that lately, a lot.
Yeah.
If they can do it, they're doing Yu Yu Hakusho.
Why?
That'd be the one you could pull off.
Yes.
Is just one that's cooking with no over the top, crazy power system.
Right.
I don't got to worry about realistically animating a Kamehameha in the real world.
Yeah.
It's just, food. It's almost a staged Iron Chef.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
I get it.
Not with the food battling, but just, you're cooking.
Yes. I get it.
I wanted to talk at which we've already kind of been talking about food wars, but that one was very easy for me to get into.
Yeah.
Just because all of it's basically Iron Chef animated into an anime that is built. It's almost a mixture of Dragon Ball Z and cooking.
Yeah.
It's weird because when they do battle the chefs, because every chef in there has a specialty they revolve around.
Yeah.
Italian or just
like spice and
spice, or they have really good sense of smell or really good sense of like touch or hearing, whatever their power or specialty is with whatever food they specialize in. Whenever they're actually cooking in the same arena, going head to head against another chef, they do these over the top dramatic fight scenes between them and the food. Soma will have a giant fork and the other guy will have a giant rolling pin or something, and they'll go and like clash in these battle scenes, even though they're just cooking.
Right.
And that fact alone got me. I was like, okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah. That's perfect for you.
It wasn't the declothing that didn't do it for me. That wasn't. Another thing is with, oh God, I can't remember his name. Soma's dad.
Oh, starts with a J. Juntaro?
For the life of me, I cannot remember right now, and I apologize. And because we just rewatched the last 3 seasons, because they took off the first 3 seasons on Crunchyroll for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a lot of questions I have for Crunchyroll.
But Soma's dad,
that's fine. That's fine.
Reminded me a lot of Gon's dad from Hunter x Hunter. Jing, not in the sense of parenthood. Jing was a terrible father.
Oh, a piece of shit.
Giant piece of shit. Straight up abandoned his child.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm talking about. But there was this aura around Jing that gave you a sense of mystery and mystique and just kind of a sense of adventure and wonder. And it kind of leaves you with this question of who this guy is, because he does all these, has all these crazy accomplishments. And anytime Gon runs into somebody and mentions his dad, and they're like, oh my, Jing, he's, the top 5 hunters in the world. And I know.
I told you. You owe me $10.
There's just this mysteriousness about him that just intrigues you the whole show.
They're almost aloof. Like they're just so talented, and they don't give a shit. Like they could care less about everyone else or everything else. Like they don't care about what's going on in the world. They just want to live their life and just do the things that they want to do, and they're fucking good at it.
Yeah, and then Soma's dad has the same personality, and as the story develops, as you're watching throughout the seasons, you start to learn more and more about his dad, kind of who he is, and that, because at first you just think he's, the owner of a diner. And then as Soma, meets new people, they're like, oh, he's one of the greatest chefs on the planet. Yeah. He's, maybe the top 2 in the world.
Do you remember what his dad's number was on, like, what was he? Was he the first seed or second seed?
I want to say, I want to say maybe he was the second seat.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or the first seat. He was
one of the top 2. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, but basically he's one of the top 2 chefs on the whole planet. Yeah. And so that similarity alone got me intrigued into it off the rip before they started doing the whole battle scenes with food utensils. Right?
Yeah.
And because the one we were watching, did you watch a little bit with me in the 4th season when they were battling her father?
Central.
Yeah, Central.
Yes.
Yeah, Central versus basically the last of the students who were going to get kicked out of the school.
Right.
The way they presented the food, kind of I was saying with the Cinderella Chef, that also gets you intrigued.
Yes.
And that's through all the seasons, not just the 4th season. But again, we couldn't watch the first 3 because not on Crunchyroll, but the way they present the food is just, that's the highlight of the whole show. Yeah. And they want to make it known because it's shiny, it's sparkly, it's, glittering.
Yeah. I think they pan onto the food for like a few seconds, which is like, sounds like it's not a lot, but it's a lot.
And then they have the over the top reactions with
like the background music, and it's really intense. Yeah.
Anytime a chef presents a dish to a judge, at the end of their tasting, they'll call the chef, he's, Soma, the, of the vegetables or whatever. Yeah. They'll give him some kind of crazy title. Yeah. And I love that about that whole show. Mm-hmm. But as good as Food Wars is, it'll never beat.
No, I know.
Toriko, in my opinion.
Okay. Why?
I tried to show you why. You might have been distracted. But remember I showed you the intro?
Oh.
To almost, I think 90% of the episodes has an intro that way.
Yeah. The narrator.
Most in the anime, and actually in the manga too, it does it. Yeah. To the entrance of the chapters. Mm-hmm. In the anime, it starts out by giving you a area in the world that is... Well, let me first give the basis of Toriko to people that don't know it. Toriko, it evolves around basically food. It's called the gourmet age. Mm-hmm. And the world is split up into 2 different sections. There's the human world and then the gourmet world. Mm-hmm. And humans don't go in the gourmet world because it's filled with dangerous monsters.
They're going to get eaten.
Yeah, or just crazy environments that humans can't survive. Mm-hmm. In the human world, they have what they call gourmet hunters, which is people like Toriko, Sunny, Coco.
Sunny.
They're the 4 kings with Zebra.
Oh, that's right. Zebra.
Yeah, and they're the top of the top, basically. Yeah. But everybody under them, it doesn't have as crazy powers as they do, but they're still gourmet hunters. Yeah. And basically the world that they live in is just the focus is food. Every environment has food revolving around it. It's just an age where food is king.
It's all about your what do you call that? Your the menu, or your like where they have the meals that they're, what do they call that?
Oh, you're talking about their
like Sonny's is about his beauty and whatnot, and
yeah, I can't for the life of me. I can't think of what it's called. It'll come to me.
No,
we talked about it in the last.
Remember,
I'm trying. I can't.
Please.
I'm trying. Anyway,
their menu, their final menu, or something menu. Last menu. Fuck, Charles, you're supposed to be a fan.
I am. There's a lot of information going in here right now, and you got to take out some stuff and put some new stuff in. Anyway, so the focus of this world is food. Okay. So every episode will highlight an area of the world where like food is flourishing, basically, you know, like the hamburger plants or whatever. It's just something weird food related, and it has a sense of magic to it and adventure, and it's great. But the one thing that makes it the best is the narrator. He sells it so well. He really does. So into it.
That voice is dreamy.
That alone, if you can't get into Toriko as a story and you don't care to watch the anime, just go watch the first minute of each episode and it'll just make you smile.
Yeah.
Because the narrator does such a good job, and the way they highlight the food is so, it's so good that alone, it makes it worth watching the actual show. Yeah. Which I think there's 115 to 125 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. You did show me a couple of those.
Full course.
The full course. Oh, thank God.
See, I told you.
I need you to remember next time when I ask you to.
Trap up here. Nothing escapes.
What'd you take out?
I know. Probably.
I guess we'll find out when you can't remember something.
Probably Green Day lyrics from 1994. I don't know.
Wow, what a tragedy. Yeah, no, I do remember you showing me a few opening scenes and hearing the narrator, and I do admit, like, it's nice. It's nice. I could see, you know, I enjoyed that, but it's just, again, there's no romance. And I know, don't even start. I know that Toriko, and is her name Ren?
Yes.
Whatever.
Sunny's sister.
Thank you. Which that is so bizarre to me, like polar opposites. Anyways, I know that
he makes fun of her all the time.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I don't have a manly sister like you.
Yeah, cow thighs and all these other just crazy insults.
Such an asshole.
Yeah.
It's because he's so vain. But anyways, it's not important. I know they get married in the manga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the anime never made it that far.
No, I know, which is so weird to me. Like, finish it. The manga is like long. Keep it going. Don't just give up. But whatever. It's another story for another day. But yeah, I don't know. There's not enough romance in it for me. You know?
The romance side, it's practically non-existent until you get to the chapter.
Exactly.
The last few chapters where they actually get married.
Exactly. That's why it's like, this is a hard watch.
With the food.
Don't give me that shit. No.
It should count.
You try to tell me that with Food Wars.
That's true too. It's a romantical relationship with the ingredients that they're about to eat. Anyway, another good thing about Toriko is the way they honor the food, which that is.
I do like that. They don't like waste. They don't kill things for no reason, which I do appreciate that.
Yeah. So when the evil organization called the Gourmet Corps, I know that's.
You couldn't do any better than that.
It's when they do kill creatures or monsters and don't eat the ingredients that they provide from their corpse.
Yeah.
That pisses them off more than anything. Yeah. Because it's a waste of life, and it's it's a waste of ingredients, and it's just.
Which I do appreciate that.
Yes, and they honor the food very well there, and that's literally what one of the power systems is called in Toriko. It's called honoring the food.
I love it. Straight to the point.
It is, and it took them. They took them weeks to master it too. They go to a temple and train. Wow. Yeah, it's oh God, it's a temple where they specialize in the top grade A Japanese style cooking.
That's cool.
And it's a hidden temple, and you can only go there by being invited. And they teach people there honor
Oh my
the
gosh,
food.
that is so cool.
Respecting the ingredients, honoring the food is a big deal with them. The way they present monsters in the show also is it gets me every time. Because I like it whenever in Hunter x Hunter or Naruto, when they pull up charts and graphs with little, illustrated, kind of almost stop motion, just stuff to explain how something works in the show to you. I love that. And I'm trying to recreate that in my own video editing now, which I think you were watching yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I love it so much. And Toriko does it very well. They don't do it a whole lot, but the way they present monsters is they give them like a capture level with their own like little data sheet.
It's almost educational, which, is cool.
It gives you little info facts about them, like when they're on the screen or at the end of the episode. And I love that kind of stuff.
I do. Yeah, that is kind of cute. I think I do have there's an episode that I really enjoyed because I didn't quite get into Toriko, obviously, to the same extent. I do have an episode that I really enjoyed, and it's the episode with I don't know exactly what they're called. I can just describe it. It's a giant elephant-ish, mammoth almost kind of thing that's like zebra-ish, like brown and black.
The regal mammoth, the huge one?
That one, thank you, the regal mammoth. So they don't actually have to kill it to get the meat that they're looking for, which
jewel meat. That's what it's called.
Where is that located?
You don't want to know. It's deep in there.
Oh, okay.
It's deep in that elephant. Real deep.
Okay. How did they get out?
I want to say through the butthole.
Oh my God. Anyways, but I do appreciate that they didn't actually have to kill the animal to get the meat that they were looking for, the ingredient they were looking for.
If you're confused on what we're talking about, the regal mammoth in Toriko is the size of mountains. It's huge. So people can walk, it's a whole city inside of this mammoth, basically. You can walk through it. That's why I said they went out through the butthole. It wasn't it wasn't the scene from Ace Ventura 2 where he's coming out of the back of the rhino. You know what I mean? What? They weren't just coming out of regular. You haven't?
No.
When's the last time you seen Ace Ventura 2?
Fucking years, probably 10 plus.
Well, it starts out with him, or it might have been in the middle of the movie, but he's in an electronic automatic rhino, basically, that he's moving on his own. And then the power goes out. So he's doing this so he can watch this safari guy, I think, poach these animals illegally or something like that. So he's trying to keep an eye on him. So he's in this
electric rhino.
Robotic rhinoceros. And the power goes out. So his little fan that he had in there dies.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
And I think they're in Africa in this one. So it's, it's 114 degrees and he's inside this metal rhino.
Oh shit.
So he starts taking off all of his clothes and whatnot. And then I think after the guy leaves, he can't get out through the way he came in, which is a side latch door. So he goes out through the butthole of the rhino. And it looks like, there's this family that drives by on a safari. And they're watching him.
No.
They're like, oh, look, the rhino's giving birth. Everybody, look, watch these children, watch this magical moment, or whatever. They're not British or whatever the accent I was just doing. And so he's making his way out through this latex butthole. And it looks like he's being birthed or crapped out or whatever. I don't know. But
the fuck? Oh, okay. Those poor children. That is traumatizing. I'm traumatized. I haven't even seen it. And just your explanation has traumatized me.
We're going to have to go watch a clip after this.
No, that's all right. We really don't have to.
It's absolute cinema. It's probably the best 2 minutes of cinema from the 90s.
I'm okay. Anyways, so I appreciate that they didn't have to kill the animal for the ingredient. And also I can appreciate the colors. It's so good. They did the colors so well. And I appreciate the, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? How they named the ingredients or, the animals and just,
since everything is
so edible, creative. Yeah. It's
since
so creative.
Everything is edible, everything has a name and a capture level. So the black grass you saw that tastes like, I think it was licorice or something, but it's real grass that grows.
Yes.
And, you know, it's got a capture level of 1 and you can just pick it off the ground and eat it. And that's the whole world, which that's what makes it so magical, I guess you want to say.
That part, like, it's like, I want to like Toriko, like I want to get into it because the whole concept is so cool to me. I don't know, something about the animation. See, I know you really liked it, but it's hard. It's hard for me. But Sunny and Coco.
But it's also sort of like Food Wars, to where whenever they do capture that ingredient they've been going after, or, you know, they prepare the meal with the ingredient they've been going after, it's, you know, it's glistening, it's glittering, it's, you know, everyone's eyes are wide, their mouths are watering.
Yes.
Again, they honor the food, and that's another aspect of the show that makes it so great.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I also tried to get you into it because I thought Sonny would get you.
He did, just not enough.
With the whole beauty thing. Yes. And then with his pet, Queen, the giant snake, because we have 2 ball pythons here right behind me. Yeah. So I thought that would also get you. But she didn't stick.
But no, I mean, it's cute. Like, it's like a fun watch, like every now, for me, it's like fun to, like, if I catch you watching it, like I might sit in on an episode, but that's as far as it goes for me. Like I can appreciate what it is, but I just can't get into it, but that's all right. Cause like, you don't necessarily get into the animes that I like. You might sit in for like an episode. I know that you sat in for, Kakuriyo, the bed and breakfast for spirits, and you had commented that you had liked the intro. You were like, they did not have to go that hard on the intro, and
that they did.
It's real. So good. That is something about me. Like I've said this before. You could really make it or break it for me. If your intro is shit, I can't do it. I'm like, oof.
Is the fox one, the fox spirit demon? What is he? Fox demon?
Just say spirit. It's
Fox
fine.
Spirit? Is it male or female?
Male, but he can change his gender.
He fluid?
He fluid.
Okay. She looked amazing.
You talking about Genji?
Huh?
With the blue and the white?
I don't know. The fox. The white fox.
Yeah, Genji. Genji. Yeah.
His name's Genji? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, because I saw him in the intro or the outro. I don't remember which one I watched. But I was just looking at it and I said, that's badass. I don't even know what he's doing, but he looks cool. Is he Nine Tails? Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, because he has like we see him in his like when we first meet him, he presents himself as a child because he's trying to be approachable and he's trying not to scare her.
Sort of like Shippo.
Shippo, yes, so cute. And then he shows her that he can transform into a woman. He's like, would you feel more comfortable with a woman? So he transforms into a woman, and then he transforms into his little fox self. So cute. And then his like true form, what he is usually in, is his adult male form. Which
so you weren't kidding. He can actually swap his gender.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he can do all sorts of things. He can change into a fucking fox. It's wild. Ayakashi are just built different. But yeah, no, he was one of my top contenders for her husband to be. But didn't work out.
I'm not gonna lie. And the reason I was so intrigued by the intro is because he looked like, or he resembled Ninetales from Pokemon.
Yeah, so cute.
That hit a chord in my brain somewhere. I'm like, Pokemon. Right. But if that's this thing that gets you into it, that's what gets you into it.
That's fine. That's fine. For me, it was, it literally was, I saw the cover art and I was like, interesting. Because I believe that there is like food somewhere in the cover art, and then obviously there's the female lead and the male lead, and then it says romance in the category. I'm like, click play, and then I was like, yes, ma'am.
So does that one beat out the bed and breakfast for you? Does it beat out Restaurant to Another World?
Oh, that's so hard. Okay. damn it.
Because that one is really good.
So it is so good. And I'm finding it hard to pick because like where Restaurant to Another World is lacking the romance department, it makes up for it with the food because like
The camaraderie between a lot of the guests.
yeah, but but it's not really that for me. It's more in the sense of I like that each episode is different and he's cooking a different food for a different person. And it's like focused solely around that person, their story, and the food that they like, right? Whether it's something that they've eaten before or it's new to them and they fall in love with it. But with him and that show, it shows him cooking it and then it presents the food and it's, they focus on the food and they honor that. And so it's a little bit different than the bed and breakfast episodes because they don't really sha-la-la-la-la on the food, it's more of just like she's cooking it here, they eat it, they enjoy it, great, and then
so it's more about the wholesomeness of the whole meal rather than the presentation.
Yes. Whereas with the Restaurant to Another World, the presentation and just the whole aspect of them eating the food, it's a very slow what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's just like they take their time, like they're truly enjoying the meal. And it like from every cut, every twirl of a fork and then into the mouth, like, and just the expressions, the glow in the eyes, like they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And not that they're not enjoying the food in the bed and breakfast. It's just, it's a little bit different. So it's just like, it's hard to say which one is better.
Well, restaurant reminds me of if me and you were to go to an actual new restaurant and order something new and try the food, you kind of eat a little slower. You kind of take your time and enjoy the new ingredients that you have or the dish you've never had before. Kind of take your time with it, instead of eating that dumpling in one bite, you eat it in 2 or 3 just
to make it last.
Savor it. Yeah. So that's kind of what I got from the whole show.
Yeah, it's just they're so different. They're so different, so it's hard. Cuz that's another one. That's like I can't.
I mean, you don't have to say it's a favorite. I'm just trying to figure out your tier list here. What's your, if you had to put one above the other, this is just pure for you two. In your own mind, you can call them all equal, but I'm saying if you had to pick
if I had to pick one, I would pick the bed and breakfast again, purely because it has the romance in it. And I like the story and of this, not necessarily enemies to lovers, because I wouldn't say that they're enemies, but they're definitely at odds in the beginning. And eventually they, he grows on her and she's like, okay.
So now we have our answer.
I know it like killed me to say that though, because I really do love, like, I think all the food animes that I've watched, just, they're all good to me in their own special way. So it's like, I can't really put them on a tier list,
Mm-hmm.
But I can separate them because, with Cinderella Chef and Kakuriyo, the bed and breakfast anime, those both have like relationships and they're more romantic food animes. So with those, I can say for sure that Kakuriyo is probably my favorite among the two. And I think that's because it's a little less serious. It's more like lighthearted for me. But if we were to compare like Restaurant to Another World and then Izakaya Nobu, I would probably choose Restaurant to Another World. And that's because of the animation. And that is also because of the way that they show the food.
I got you. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, I don't know if it counts, but I just from the few scenes that it's in there, the old like Spirited Away movies and Howl's Moving Castle, all that. Those food scenes alone, I think that's what probably sparked all this when we were children.
Yeah.
So now when we see it, growing up, it's kind of easy to get into. For sure.
Those movies changed my brain chemistry.
Cooking the ham and the eggs.
My
and everything.
God. Oh, stop. You're gonna make me cry. Literally, nobody does food better than what's his name?
I always say it wrong, so I'm not.
That's okay. Just say it.
Studio Ghibli. That's
It's Ghibli.
Ghibli. Okay.
It's Ghibli. Anyways, not important. But yes, nobody does food better than Studio Ghibli. Oh my God. It's just so good. Like everything is just so juicy, so moist, so like succulent. I'm like, I want some of that. Even Ponyo. I'm telling you, whenever I was young and I watched that and she made them the tea, it was like green tea, milk, and honey or something. I don't know. It was simple, but it looked so good. I kid you not. I paused the movie, went and made myself the same thing. I was like, I can make this. But all that other shit, I can't make this. Yeah, and that's sorry, I'm like derailing here, but that's something that I've like gone to YouTube to watch people recreate Studio Ghibli meals. Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo. Oh, so good.
I haven't watched this content in a long time, but I think Binging with Babish a long time ago redid the Howl's Moving Castle breakfast though.
Oh, so good.
And it was probably what sparked, because, every weekend I make the same egg, potato, and ham breakfast. And
I want ham.
yeah, I think Howl's probably has something to do with that now in my 30s. So, or 20s. We don't know. Next episode, I thought it would be fun for us to talk about our favorite characters, not necessarily MCs, but just our favorite characters and animal, and what makes them our favorite characters.
Oh my goodness, so fun.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with this. Shit.
So yeah, you can pick whatever genre, whatever anime, manga, doesn't, or movie. You don't have to.
That's hard.
You don't have to focus into one category. I know there's so many.
I know.
And because I thought it'd be a good topic, because there's so many characters that have their own reason for being your favorite character that could be completely different from a similar, just say shonen to shonen, just say Naruto to Hunter x Hunter. Similar styles, but the characters in there, you love them for completely different reasons.
Right.
Even though they're kind of doing the same thing almost, right? Fighting and power systems and all that and training or whatnot. But, some characters just have that hero type personality. And then other ones just they're kind of a piece of shit, but you're still rooting for them anyway for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Mine are probably going to be like so whack compared to yours. Because I'm pretty sure my favorite characters are like, because she had big boobs or something.
That's fine. Whatever rings your bell, that's cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Big boobs.
What?
That's it.
Bing. And then they just.